Students, your time has come. I have decided that it's time to share some of my knowledge with you. That's right. Do you want to become a true legendary professional wrestling character? Do you want to learn how to project your voice, to enunciate, to come up with the greatest promos that you possibly could? Then you need to join me each and every week for just $50. I am hosting a masterclass on Zoom. That's right. You don't have to travel. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. I will teach you how to become the greatest character you can be. I will help you discover who you truly are. I will help you with taglines, promos, etc., etc. Join me for just $50 a week in a masterclass of wrestling character development. There's a reason they call us the masters of wrestling. Students, welcome back to another episode, a live episode for that matter, of Masterclass here on the Masters of Wrestling. We are awaiting our two celebrity guests today, Bodacious Suave. They will be joining us shortly. But in the meantime, I am the Master Emir. He is the Bodacious Suave, and you are our students, and we thank each and every one of you for tuning in. Bodacious One, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. A little hot here, so I just spilled some water. Sorry about that, pal.
I was gonna say you're getting hot there. It's because of all this attention. It's because of all the attention. That's what it is, Bodacious Suave.
Well, my good looks don't lie.
They don't indeed. They don't indeed. And we've got a couple of gentlemen that are going to be joining us. Again, if you don't know who's going to be joining us today, it will be the original himself, Sinn Bodhi, and of course, our dear friend, Jason Sensation. Jason Sensation. He's going to be joining us today, pal. How you going to be on this one?
You want to start with this John Cena stuff? I thought of something today just because I'm always thinking.
What about John? What about Johnny C? What about the doctor of thugonomics?
Did you hear the time-honored tradition BS that Triple H pulled?
Did he say something on the?
He did. Like at the post show, he goes, "Well, it's all about time-honored tradition." So I guess where we know he got that from.
Time-honored tradition. Wasn't that a Vince McMahon line?
Yeah, when Brett got screwed.
Yes.
Because a lot of fans were upset about John losing, right? So Triple H just said, "Well, it's time-honored tradition." Okay, I get it. I can see, whatever. But I just realized today. Did you know Cena lost his final two matches?
He did?
Well, time honored.
Yes, he did. He lost to the Beanpole himself, Dominic Mysterio.
The Lima Bean, yeah.
Yes, the Lima Bean. Check. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I'm just texting Sinn Bodhi right now. I sent the email. He will be joining us right now. He's about to log on, ladies and gentlemen. So bear with us. Good evening, Red Fox Punks. I like this guy.
This guy's great.
Yeah. I like this guy. But anyway, you were going back to
about so like time-honored tradition to me tells me you lose on the way out.
Yeah.
Well, they made him lose his final two matches. Isn't that kind of stupid?
What do you think? I mean, because I know my opinion. Of course, everybody knows I'm not going to hold back. What do you think about this? What's it going to do to Johnny C? What's it going to do to the Doctor of Thugonomics losing to these two individuals? Now, I'm not taking anything away about their professional wrestling skills. Their skills are great, right? But at the end of the day, are they as much of a marketable character as John Cena? In my opinion, absolutely not. Two duds.
No, they're not. But maybe I'm just saying, maybe that's Triple H's ego. Hey, I run the show.
Well,
I'll bury you. Vince made you. Well, I'll bury you. Your Uncle Paul's ruthless. He doesn't even answer your phone calls.
He is ruthless. In fact, I was just talking to my mom about it this morning. I was just telling my mom that, his sister, that, I'm kind of disheartened by his attitude lately. He did speak to me a lot before, but a little bit less these days. Bear with me. Matthew, can you hold the fort a second here? I'm just sending an email to Sinn Bodhi here because he's having difficulty finding the Zoom link that I sent him this morning, rather the StreamYard link. So I've got to retrieve that and forward it over to him. There we go here. What else you got for us, Bodacious Suave?
Well, that's just something that I was just kind of thinking of today, and it kind of just found it weird to make him lose his final two matches. That's not time honored tradition from what I was taught by Vince McMahon. You lose just on the way out, but
Correct.
you just made him fade
Yeah.
away gradually. I don't know. I thought his run just sucked. They didn't no momentum the whole way. They could have done better.
They
But
could have done better. They could have done a lot better. And I'm just going to address one of our fans here. Well, I'm not sure if he's one of our fans, Bodacious Suave, just by the way he wrote that comment. Where's Jason Sensation? It sounds rather commanding to me. Does it not you, Bodacious Suave? Where's Jason Sensation?
I'll give him a chance. He's watching, right? He's
He is,
watching.
he
He's
is watching.
watching.
Jason Sensation is on his way, Mr. Iconic B79. I kind of like that. He's at Iconic. He's an iconic one. That one is certainly. I like your tone, Mr. Iconic. Very good. Touche.
Is that ruthless aggression?
That sounds like a little bit of ruthless aggression. I think he must have been watching a little bit of John Cena momentarily there. So I just sent the link to Sin. So Sin should be joining us here momentarily. And Jason is on his way. So do not fret. The man himself is on his way. So load up on your super chats. Load up on your super thanks and get ready to ask questions because we're going to be here for the next couple of hours. We're going to have Sinn Bodhi and Jason Sensation with us. And Merry Christmas to you, James. Thank you so much. We got a couple of Merry Christmases. Happy holidays here from Poncho the Dingo. Happy holidays to you, sir. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever you may be celebrating this time of year. I noticed one topic I did want to bring up. Actually, Sin is right here. So hold on. Yes. Wow. Kazarni. Yes, he is here, Daniel. And I'm about to bring him on the screen right now. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, students of the game. Not my Uncle Paul's game, but my game. Here are the Masters of Wrestling. Here is the original Sinn Bodhi.
Hey, guys. How are you? Sorry about the technical difficulties. I am a breaker, not a builder. So trying to finagle my way through the freaking internet was pain in the butt. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, we're using a different platform this week, Sin. We're going live now on StreamYard. We've been used to doing Zooms before, but nonetheless, here we are. How have you been doing, Sin?
I'm good. I'm sitting here in my cold little, just trying to get my stuff situated here. Sorry for the ill preparedness. I'm sitting here in my cold little work shed. I have little dogs around my feet, so I'm trying to tippy toe around them and not disturb them. I'm covered in hay. I'm covered in paint, and so yeah, I'm making my little dudes. Trying to get a bunch of stuff out for Christmas orders. Got my little dudes getting.
Wow, that is awesome, Sin. Viewers, students, for those of you who don't know, Sinn Bodhi makes customized wrestling figures. Look at that.
Yep, there you go. This is one of my favorite guys. This is Adrian Adonis, awesome worker. If anybody out there, you're an aspiring wrestler, I don't care if you're skinny, fat, tall, muscular, high flying, muscle guy, brawler, whatever. Watch this dude. This is good homework guy. Adorable Adrian Adonis.
Yeah,
you can watch him with the East-West connection with him and Jesse the Body Ventura when he was kind of like a biker guy before he did the kind of a feminine gimmick or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And actually, weirdly, I'm friends with his wife, who's a super cool lady. Her name is B, and she is awesome. And getting to chat with her and ask her and talk to her a little bit about Adrian and she is the widow of Adrian Adonis. So I mean, that's maybe cathartic for her to talk about, her hubby and all that stuff. But as a kid, I just like one of the best workers ever. But anyway, so short story long. I'm here in my workshop.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah. You got your mug there. I got the Masters mug right here. As I was telling I was going to introduce you, Sin, before I go any further. At the top of the screen, here's our new co-star to the Master Class, a fellow Canadian, in fact, Sin.
Fellow Snow Mexican.
Yep,
all right.
The suave. Say hello to Sin, Bodacious One.
Hey, Sin, how you doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
Very good, very good.
Good, eh? All right, eh?
There you go.
Doing,
Yeah.
How's it going, eh?
When's the last time you had Tim Hortons?
I guess the last time I was in Canada, was maybe a few months ago, wrestling, I guess. Yep. Yeah, maybe a little bit longer. Maybe my timelines are not that great. Maybe 3, 4, maybe almost. Maybe almost 5 months ago.
Okay.
I'm a shitty son. I haven't seen my parents since I went up there to wrestle. So you guys can get up there for the holidays. You know, Sinner Claus needs to go back.
Are they in Ontario?
Yeah, they're just outside of Toronto.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Maybe. I never went to Tim Hortons actually, Bodacious Wolf, because I went up to Canada.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing. Yeah, you don't know what you're missing, buddy. You don't know, eh?
Amir, it was right beside your hotel.
I know, dude, but I never got to freaking go there. But anyway,
where's your hometown? Where?
I'm Montreal.
Okay, awesome. And what about you, Amir? What's your hometown?
Well, originally I'm from Oxford. Of course, I'm from the great Oxford United.
Oh, yes. Indubitably. Yeah.
Yes. But obviously, I'm right here, down here, near the desert here, near the Palm Springs area, of course, and where it's still summertime.
Gotcha.
So we've got a first super chat, by the way, gentlemen, right here. I'm going to bring it up on the screen here. This is a question for you, Sinn. Well, it's a shout out to Sinn. This is the ghost with the most. It actually looks like Kenny Bolin in the bottom of the screen right there. It says, shout out to Sinn. Met him many times in Louisville through a mutual friend of ours, Chad. Sinn was always a class act and gracious with his time. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Ghost.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you, dear.
Do you have any idea who you think that could be? Could that be Kenny Bolin?
I couldn't see the little icon. It's too small on my screen here. But Kenny is a good dude, and Chad is also a good dude. Chad's a very good dude.
Okay.
He helped Al Snow run OVW on the business side of things for quite a while.
Yeah. Did you ever go through OVW, Sinn?
Yeah, I got hired out of WWE out of OVW for WWE.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. What year were you? What year? What class were you?
I was there basically 2006. Got there. I was there for about maybe 8-9 months, and then I got picked up by WWE and shipped off down to Florida to FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling.
Yeah,
I remember walking. I walked into OVW one day, and I see like Danny Davis, who was the owner back in the day. And he's kind of giggling like a little kid, just looking at me like he's like. And I'm like, what's going on with this guy? I'm like, what's up, Danny? He's like, nothing. And then I walk along, and then I see Robert Gibson, and he looks at me like a little kid, and he's like, I'm like, why is everybody giggling like Ernie and Bert? Like, what's going on around here? Yeah. And then I saw Al, and I was just like, there's a call for you in the office. And I'm thinking, the office? Why did I'm going to see the principal? Like, what'd they do? And then I went in there, and there was a call from Mike Gucci waiting for me, and he hired me, told me to get my ass down in Florida. So I did.
Did you have was Rip Rogers your coach?
Rip was one of my coaches. While I was at OVW, guys, relax. Hey, you guys are growing. My little dogs they have heat with each other, and they're just looking at each other like, how dare you sit there and mind your own business, staring at me. So Rip is a good buddy of mine to this day. I just was coaching with him last night. Rip Rogers was one of my coaches. Al Snow was one of my coaches. Robert Gibson was an assistant coach there at the time. And then other coaches had kind of come in, kind of little guest coaching spots, like Barry Windham and Greg Valentine and stuff like that, which is awesome. Super awesome.
All the greats. Do you ever keep in contact with Al Snow today, Sinn?
I do. Al Snow is a good buddy of mine. Yep.
He's running OVW now, right?
Big Al. Yeah. He's been running OVW for forever. Yeah. I remember I wrestled Al Snow a bunch of times on indie shows, and he was just like, you're pretty damn good, kid. He goes, you got good instincts. I like the character, all this stuff, and you can work, and you're safe, and all that jazz. He goes, I think Vince would really like you. You should come, and there's a spot for you anytime you want it at OVW, as long as I'm there. And I said, okay, awesome. And at that stage of the game, I was going back and forth quite a bit from to England, where you can wrestle like every day of the week over there. These little shows, little shows, big shows, all sorts of different shows. And in that era, at that stage of the game, and in that sort of landscape in the wrestling world, developmental guys were, kind of looked at from indie guys as kind of like these big, gassed up meatheads that didn't really know much. They just got hired because they looked great. And then I think also those contract guys kind of looked down their nose at indie guys, going, these little, vagabonds, they're just, whatever, blah, blah. So it was kind of like a mutually, prejudice sort of viewpoint for both, like developmental guys and non-developmental.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, do I want to go there with a bunch of these freaking guys, or do I want to go in England and just make some money, just work? And then I kind of thought, well, Vince McMahon hopefully watches those tapes, or somebody hiring and firing is watching those tapes. So maybe that might be a good bet, just because the England stuff is like, you can learn how to work and there's really good workers and all that stuff, but like there's not entirely a great amount of TV exposure, whatever. So it would almost be like the factory labor version of pro wrestling. Like you're just kind of going to work every day and almost like an old territory,
I was going to say, because when I was in the UK, there was only one school, Hammerlock Wrestling. That was it. And
there's a bunch of stuff, and there was, especially back in the day, there was a lot more opportunity over there, a lot more play. Like you work every day, and then on the days that you didn't have in England, you could zip over to Germany or Italy or Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and hop over for other little promoters and other guys were working, there, and you could kind of get a ton of bookings and so forth. And so, but I decided, I was just like, I'll try giving Al Snow a call. And so he brought me down there, and that's how that went.
We'll get back to OVW in a minute. Speaking of England, any of our students watching right now, let us know. Are you from the UK? Because we want to know about the current wrestling out there. I know there's one gentleman out there by the name of Simon Miller. Yeah, I met this punk. I met him at WrestleCon this year. So Simon Miller, if you're watching this, I'm challenging you, pal. Challenging you to come out to the United States. You want to take on the Master Amir. All right. There you go. Just want to throw that out there. Anybody knows Simon Miller, get a hold of him.
I've got one question, and it doesn't have to do with England. I want to know where the heck is Jason Sensation?
Jason Sensation is on his way, Sin. He told me he was going to be a little bit late because he had a doctor's appointment, but he will be here. Trust me.
He does he's always late. He does put the tard in tardy, I'll tell you.
Was he tardy even back in the day?
Yeah. Jason's a great guy. I love Jason.
Yeah.
Always made me laugh. Always a sweet guy. Funny guy.
He's a riot. Well, you wait until he gets on here. And of course, load up your super chats, load up your super stickers, because when Jason and everybody's here in the house, we want you to fire away your questions. Don't be shy. You got something to ask it, and we will ask and ye shall receive. And by the way, hello to Brandon Davis. Brandon Davis, hello, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. He says, hey, master, at the bottom of the screen there. So Bodacious Suave, you have been dying to speak with Sinn Bodhi. I remember when you called me back in the day, you said, man, I love this guy. This is your new co-star on the masterclass. Little did you know you were going to become a co-star yourself. Yeah. But now you've got the platform. What have you been wanting to ask Sinn all this time? I'm sure you got more than that.
Yeah, I'm actually like a Power Slap fan.
Nice. I'm usually in a Power Slap t-shirt, and today I think I have to look down or see what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Dragon Gate t-shirt. Yep. Just to plug various wrestling shows for no reason other than I'm a big wrestling fan. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Power Slap. What do you want to know?
Yeah, no, I'm curious about some things. Like one, I enjoy because it's actually real, right? So
everything is real. Everything on planet Earth is real.
Easy there, easy. I'm not convinced yet. You're gonna have a lot of convincing to do.
This guy's stiff, Sin.
You know what? I will say to a lot of fans and lovers and haters of pro wrestling and lovers and haters of Power Slap and just about anything else, or whether you're a rap star, country singer, heavy metal person, actor, basketball player, hockey player, whatever, there's fake stuff and there's real stuff that we all go through. Like, again, for wrestling, like, yeah, you might not legitimately win a title. You're getting put over for it, but those injuries are real. Those potatoes are real. The time away from your family is real. Jumping through hoops to serve a master is real. Not, trying to avoid getting shanked from the shadows to politically swim in shark infested waters is real. Big money involved in things, that's real. Like when you see indie guys be shitting to each other for peanuts, well, the more money involved, the meaner stuff can get. So, so all that stuff is real. Somebody getting cut, somebody getting released, that's real.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for, bringing me down to earth here.
Well, I mean, I don't mean to ever put over or condescend or bury or be antagonistic. I just think what I think, and I respect myself, and I respect the people I'm talking to, like yourselves, that are taking the time to talk to me. And anything I do, I'm just going to do it in respect of just saying it straight. I could pussyfoot around and it's it's this and it's that, and give you some watered down commercial answer, but I just can't roll like that.
You're actually 100% right, and I see.
I know.
You're saying.
I'm aware. I'm aware how clever I am. Sometimes not, but
I was just saying that the at least the outcomes are real, and
sure. Kind of jokes aside, like the cat, one of the bits of catnip for me to be involved in Power Slap is, you don't have to ask Mr. Promoter, sir, who do you want me to put over? Am I a good guy? Am I a bad guy? Blah, 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 blah. This is you do you. So I think not having to, rely on the whims of somebody with the pencil versus your own merit, I think is very alluring to a lot of guys and girls. That's amazing. I love wrestling. I love wrestling whoever I'm going to wrestle. And, some are better than me, some are not. But I mean, if I had a nickel for every time I laid down to somebody that couldn't lace my boots for a shoot, I'd have a lot of freaking nickels, So, but pro wrestling, you're happily or willingly is maybe the better word, involved in it. Like, you chose to get into this, you chose to do this. You can't reinvent the industry. Well, this is what I want to do. Like, you're jumping into what it is. So handle it or buzz off.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to talk about talent?
About what?
Are you allowed to talk about the talent at Power Slap?
Sure.
Okay, so I just
do what I want.
I have a lot of respect for Sheena Bathory, and I'll tell you why. She looks very humble.
She's very polite, very friendly lady, but she's a badass for sure.
She is.
That's
but
why she does so well there.
What I like is when she wins, or she doesn't try to get the crowd pumped up. Like, she just seems like a caring individual, and if she hurt her opponent, she'll look down and be like, "Oh, did I hurt them?"
Sure. So something really cool about her, and this is something that a lot of wrestlers could take a lesson by, is so she goes out and she, here she is, and she's, kind of registering the crowd or whatever, but she's locked on target. She's sizing up her opponent, whether she knows in her heart of hearts it's going to be tough, medium, or easy. She's locked and loaded. Her responses are organic. So there's nothing phony about it. She's not pandering to the audience. Or a lot of wrestlers, they do that. They'll do one cool move, and they'll turn their back on their opponent and be like, "Look at me, cheer for me." Like, that's basically being a whore. And just all you have to do, indie wrestlers and some TV wrestlers, is do a good job. Fans will like you. You do some cool stuff, and then you bark at the moon like you're in the moment and whatever. If you're being interesting and doing interesting things, they're going to go, "Yay, we like this guy." But if you, especially the babyface, you go, "Oh, cheer for me." It just seems needy, and it's not authentic, and it's not sincere, and it's just like.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that going on. Sinn Bodhi Swab was. Yeah, you're aware. I know you are aware. Sinn. There's a lot of that going on. I think it comes from insecurity outside of their professional wrestling careers and their pro careers. I think it comes from, these people. We live in a world now where technology is taking over. People are getting more and more disconnected from each other. I'm going full psychology right now, by the way, gentlemen. And I just think they're becoming more and more needy. Because like you said, Sinn, back in the day, guys like Rick Rude, Hulk Hogan, Macho, they weren't needy guys. You weren't a needy guy. You didn't need, you just did a good job, and that's it. You accept what you got given. That's the bottom line. So take note. Take note, anybody out there. If you want to ask a question, I see some questions popping up here. You must use the super chat, the super thanks. Use those. That's why they're available on YouTube. We want to be fair here, so we're asking questions accompanied with super chats or super thanks. Very, very much. Who is that? Is that the young pup?
This is my pup. This is my fat little potato. He's deaf, so he can't hear your velvety voice.
Yes.
His name is Ricky Bobby. He is a little mini Aussie, and he's a funny little, happy little dude. He's our latest rescue. He's sitting there, he's licking at my ankles. I thought I would pick him up and.
What's that thing on his ear? Did he have like a hearing aid, or has he got like a little scar behind his ear there? I noticed on that ear, something right behind there.
Oh, this is his collar sticking out there.
Oh, it's his collar? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's a big fluff, so it's like you can't even tell he's wearing a collar. So.
Yeah, he is fluffy, indeed.
He's blind in one eye, and he's totally deaf.
Well, he's a trooper. He's going forward. But does he know? Has he always been blind, or is it something that
I think it was I believe it was a birth defect, like he was born like that. So I don't think he knows really any better. And so he's a sweet little boy, but he pisses off my other dogs, especially my older dog Rambo, who is a blind poodle.
Yeah.
And he wants to play with him, and he plays just a little bit rough, like he means well, like he doesn't have a mean bone in his body, but he can't hear Rambo getting hot at him.
Yeah.
You know, saying, leave me fricka, leave me alone. And the little dude wants to just be like, yeah, let's play, old man.
Yeah,
you know,
that's how they like. Speaking of rough, Sin, nice segue there. Who was the roughest opponent you ever had to deal with?
Maybe for different reasons, and doesn't necessarily mean I don't like them or didn't have fun with them, but as far as guys that were snug as a bug in a rug, you know, Road Warriors, Ahmed Johnson, Vladimir Kozlov, and for me, and I always took it with a grain of salt. Like this, you know, me and my buddy, we wrestled the Steiner brothers way back in the day when they hadn't wrestled for a long time. I guess they had maybe had a falling out or something. And then they were finally kind of getting back together. And this was like way back early days of TNA when like Rick Steiner was on before Big Papa Pump had ever come on to TNA. So they were gonna.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. And so when Rick was kind of doing a singles run in TNA, right around that time, so this promoter from Michigan, where the Steiners are from, I guess they had made up, and they're like, "Hey, let's try this tag team thing again, and we'll bring that back down or to TNA for the first time." And so they wanted to get in there, and they had they wanted to have a match with whoever, but this was in their hometown, in home state, hometown, home high school for some charity show, and there was thousands of people there. So like there were no indie guys around. We're like, we're not freaking working with those guys. They're going to kill us. And me and my buddy were like the only two. We're like, we'll work them. You know, like we can work. They want to shoot. We can get down too. You know, like hopefully they just want to work. Like we don't want to, you know, have a problem, but you know, I'm not afraid of it. You know, like, you know, not stupid. We're not Chuck Norris or anything. You know, me and my buddy, like, well, we could work, and we were big dudes. And so like, whatever. Yeah. And I remember us going into the locker room and meeting them for the first time and saying, you know, boys, really nice to meet you. We're working with you tonight, and we're happy to do whatever you'd like and listen to you and whatever you want. And they were just like, yeah, we'll see you out there. We go, okay. Yeah. And that's it. But I think they quickly realized we could work. Yeah. And we were, you know, good size, so we didn't look like a couple of like scrubs just getting fed to them or whatever. So they didn't have anything to protect, like size wise or skill wise. Like they were in there with two big scary guys. So, you know, they were, you know, very clever, and they were really nice. You know, once we kind of got into it, had fun. Like we had a lot of fun with them. Yeah. You know, and they turned out to be really cool. And the Road Warriors were super cool too. They're just snug as a bug in a rug.
Snug, yeah. We got a question come in. Now, this is from Brandon Davis. Now, the reason I'm answering this, ladies and gentlemen, you won't see a super chat on the screen, but Brandon did send us some Cash App donations earlier. So he asked, should WWE bring back shows like Velocity and Heat, shows that allowed mid-card talent opportunities to get over? Great question, Brandon. What do you reckon, Sin?
I think, yeah, I mean, you know, good content is good content. Giving guys and girls a chance to, you know, hone their craft, especially if WWE's not going to do much more live events. They're just going to kind of focus on TV and PLEs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Give these kids a place to hone their craft and all that kind of stuff.
What do you reckon?
What John Cena was talking about, you know, way back when nobody wanted to do the Saturday night, you know, whatever shows, he became the king of those. And then he just took opportunities to, like, he couldn't get away with doing anything on the main show. So he would kind of, you know, have a lot more creative room to try out stuff on those smaller shows. Yeah. You know?
What do you reckon, Bodacious Swab? Do you reckon? I already know your answer.
Yeah, for sure. Because I like the mid-card talents. Those are usually my favorites. And yes, it's exposure. It's an opportunity. And you never know what can come out of it. You know, you can have one lucky night and get super over, and they can put you in a mainstream storyline the next week on Raw or SmackDown.
Sure.
Plus, the other beauty of this, gentleman, is it broke up the continuity of constantly having a main event, because now it's just like, back in the day, Sin, we were accustomed to watching superstars of wrestling challenge, where the Carpenters were still there. So now you had time to flesh out a story for a pay-per-view, and you'd save the main guy versus the main guy till a Saturday night's main event or a pay-per-view or a main event on Superstars. But I think it allowed storytelling to develop better. Whereas now, if I see John Cena against Dominic Mysterio at Survivor Series, it doesn't matter because I've already seen it on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown. It doesn't hold any value to me anymore. Sort of.
No, explain, because I think the same way. Like when I was a kid, I'll just tell you what I think he means. As a kid, you watch Wrestling Challenge and it's Kamala against a jobber, and then
Carpenter, Bodacious Suave, a Carpenter.
I apologize.
We are all arguably grown-ass men, and we can all utilize our freedom of speech. So you can use the J word all you want. I'm not a fan of the J word because, for instance, shamelessly making these little, these little dudes. I am in a lot of,
Mask.
No.
What's that?
Who was that?
Tiger Mask.
Yeah, who was it though?
Tiger Mask.
That's his name, Tiger Mask. Oh, forgive me.
Jeez.
Yes, Tiger Mask was famous for wrestling Dynamite Kid amongst many other. Oh, where are you going? Oh, he's getting off
now you've jumped.
So where was I going with this?
The name No Jobbers.
Oh yeah, so making these little figures, I'm in these groups, with all these collectors and wrestling fans that are buying wrestling toys because they're wrestling fans, and I can see their comments, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're making, not just to me, but I mean just to anybody." I'm just seeing comments that got nothing to do with. He wants back up. Come on up, little man. So they're saying, "Oh yeah, so and so's a jobber, or this guy sucks, or that guy, I love this guy, or hate this guy, or this guy's a jobber." And all this stuff. So it would be easy for me to say, like, look, marks, it's not a really nice word. Like those guys are out there just doing what they're supposed to do, and that's their job. But if I start, mixing it up with these people that are, potentially buying my figures or whatever, I'm just going to kind of screw up my own business. And I realized I'm in a fan forum, not a pro forum. Like I'm not in some group chat with a bunch of wrestlers or a bunch of coaches or a bunch of producers or writers. I'm talking to a bunch of fans, which, we are all fans. So I just kind of take that stuff with a grain of salt. So your guys say the word all the time. I don't like the word mark either, but in context, I'll use it to illustrate a point, but I'm not a fan of the word mark. I think it's wrestling's N word,
Yeah, it's very derogatory. I hear this so much, Sin. I've heard it out many times around.
Like without marks, we are nothing. We are less than marks.
Exactly.
So, and without favor wrestlers, some people want to refer to them as jobbers or whatever, but just, again, some people just say it and they don't even realize, it's like, it would be like referring to girls as like, yeah, it's a bunch of bitches.
Right.
It's not entirely a nice way to say it, but so many people just use that word to death or other words like that realize, like, maybe just kind of step back and zoom out and go, not entirely a nice bit of speak. So I think, like, with wrestlers of all levels, even saying mid-card guy, why is this guy a mid-card guy? Because that's the person with the pencil wrote him in the mid-card. Mm-hmm. You could take the shittiest wrestler ever and you could turn him into WWE champion tomorrow. If you put the machine behind him, you put a few coaches babysitting his matches or her matches, and there you go. That's it.
We know it's been done many times.
Right. So within those shows, like a Velocity or a Shotgun, all those kind of things, yeah, it's great. Just another place for talent to get experience and reps and learn and try stuff. And so that's all great. But as far as, again, like, as wrestlers, or even like in this situation as hosts, we can say what we want. We can say, oh, so-and-so's the shits or whatever. But we also have to realize, and I don't mean to like take anybody to school here or nothing, but like, if you call Dominic Mysterio a stick or whatever, that's all fine and good. Again, we're in America. You can say what the heck you want. freedom of speech and all that stuff. But, wrestling, for instance, is run by people and it's filled, crowded with people with huge egos, sensitivity, all that kind of stuff. And it's an intimate industry. So there's tons of, report oriented, good, bad, or indifferent shenanigans going on. Like somebody could hear that and stooge it off. And then you go do a dark match somewhere. And then, not saying that Dominic would, I'm just saying this is just a thing that can and does and has and will happen. Like, oh yeah, isn't that the guy that goofed on you on some show or this or that, or in a locker room somewhere? Like I tell guys all the time, I'll sit there in a locker and be like, oh, I hate John Cena, he sucks.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. But if you say that, and then there's some stooge in the locker room that, goes and does a show and somehow he said, she said, because, what's the whole thing? Tell a friend, telegram, tell a wrestler, all that stuff, like all the gossip and the chatty Cathys, they love to say their shit. And so it's not right or wrong. It just,
I think there's a couple of ways we can look at it, Sinn, though, because I see what you're saying. I've openly called him a beanpole many times. I'm not worried.
I mean, it's no secret. He's not built like Rick Rude underneath that fancy, set of gear he's wearing. Like he's got nice gear, whatever. But yeah, it's obviously like, hey, do you think he looks like Rick Rude or King Kong Bundy or something under that gear? No, I can kind of tell what he is. But honestly, I think, especially for his youth, he's probably one of the best, if not the best worker.
Right.
There.
Yeah, of course. And that's what I say. Whenever I bring somebody up on the podcast, I always say, not taking away from this guy personally. I'm talking about the character. I'm separating the professional from the person. I'm thinking about
my dogs are gonna do a run in and cut you off.
No worries, man. I'm talking about the professional. So I'm talking about the character. I'm talking about it for like speaking from the voice of the audience who are legit. There are many that are disgruntled right now. So giving them that voice, the voice of the voiceless, as it were, to say. But again, if I were to meet Dominic Mysterio, I'm
getting jumped on here. So
yeah.
But okay, again, I was thinking.
Yeah, but we're talking about character. Plus, we're talking about pro wrestling. So it should be given with anybody to understand people are going to take shots at each other.
Sure.
As long as I think the people are smart enough to understand it's pro wrestling, which is entertainment. So I'm trying to be informative and give useful intel. Yeah.
At the same time, I'm being playful, but just people have to realize there is a butterfly effect to their words, good, bad, or indifferent, sports entertainment or shoot, all this kind of stuff. What are you guys doing to me? These guys are just jumping around on my shins. So, for instance, if I don't know if we were talking about this before, guys, what are you doing? Little Ricky Bobby is pulling on my little champion's leg. He wants to wrestle him and play with him off camera. He's like, "Come on." But like, so if some indie guy, which I have literally seen this, go and say something online to Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Like, F you, I'll kick your ass, blah, 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 whatever.
That's different there. Yeah.
And then if that person in their head is just trying to get a spot, get some heat, whatever, like back in the day, yeah, you could run your yap on your opponent and you both knew you were working or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but you both kind of want to be in on it, So like if you had messaged Cody Rhodes and said, "Hey man, I'm just hunting for a job. Would you mind if I ran my app and you can say whatever you want back to me. Obviously, sir, would that be okay? Maybe just so I can get some eyes on myself and maybe get a gig or whatever." And he said, "Yeah, sure, kid, knock yourself out." Yeah. Then that's a different story. But also too, there's a lot of guys, not Cody per se, but just whoever that two indie guys are going to wrestle, and one indie guy takes it upon himself just to go and run his yap online, just cutting a promo or something. And the other guy doesn't really know him or just doesn't. I mean, really, most indie guys just don't know much about much anyway, to be honest. So I'll say that out loud. I got no problem saying that, and anybody that doesn't like it,
touche.
But at the same time, so they get butthurt at each other, like, "Whoa, this guy did it." Like, I'm pretty sure they're just trying to sell tickets on this little indie show in the middle of wherever. So take it with a grain of salt, like try to sell tickets together.
That's it right there, Sin. You're adding to you're contributing to the narrative of pro wrestling. But there's a way. If I came on the podcast and said, although this guy's a beanpole, he's a scumbag, he's this and this and this and that. Yeah, I don't do that. I can make jabs or shots, observations, which everyone else is thinking, but I do it in an entertainment fashion. So therefore, if the other person doesn't receive it as entertainment, then the problem's on them that need to grow up. The bottom line. But hey,
Dominic Mysterio, did you believe what Amir said to you? I can't believe he said, if you don't like what he said, you better grow up, bro. P.S. You're a beanpole.
Yeah, exactly. Like Red Fox just wrote now, like Mr. Becky Lynch. Yeah, I said it, Mr. Becky Lynch. And oh well.
Well, she's the man. Why can't you call her Mister?
Exactly.
She should demand to be called Mister. If I was Becky Lynch, if somebody said, "Excuse me, ma'am," I'd be like, "That's Mister to you, punk."
But I have a question because you do hear that a lot. I wonder about it when people are like, "Oh, Charlotte sucks, John Cena sucks." Do you think they're talking about the character or the actual person?
I don't think they know what they're talking about either which way, to be honest, for the most part.
Yeah.
They're not entirely sure where any of that starts and stops. And if you don't know the person, it's just like, hey, guys, relax. Just lost my train of thought. Guys, would you relax? Hey, we're good. So sorry, I can't help it. I'm in the funny farm here, and that's what's going on. Guys, would you chill out?
Hey, Bodacious One, you want to text Jason for me as well on your end there? Because I'm checking the time here. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Cessation will be joining us at some point. He did tell us he had a doctor's appointment, but he will be here. So he's here until another hour and 20. So he will be joining us. So do not fret. Sorry to cut you off there. I just wanted to announce.
Yeah, all good. So I'm going to walk into my living room and I'm going to let these guys play in my shop here because they're all wrestling and I want them to enjoy themselves and spend some energy.
Yeah.
And I also don't want them to keep on cutting you off.
No worries, man. No worries.
You're riveting, and I want fans to hear what you have to say.
Thank you, Sin. Well, speaking of riveting, by the way, Sin, I'm going to take this opportunity right here. The Master Emir 8x10s signed, mailed out to you, $25, including shipping and handling. If you want one, get in contact with me, and they'll be sent out. What a great Christmas gift! What a great New Year! What a way to start your New Year's with the Master Emir right over your mantle, framed in a nice gold-plated seal. Yeah, what about that? Sin, you want one of those, don't you, Sin? Yeah.
Yes, of course I do.
That's Christmas tree right there, Sid.
Oh, thank you. I just have to come inside where my little fluffs were starting to have the little battle royal, and they're all energy, so I'm letting them play.
We got a super chat, Sin, and it's coming for you right here from Red Fox Punks. Sin, I remember you worked with Jake Roberts. What are the best insights he imparted to you? Great question, Red Fox.
Be yourself, succeed as yourself, fail as yourself. If you try to pretend to be something you're not and then you fail, then you're going to be second guessing yourself for the whole time. Like he always, still to this day, will give me grief over Kazarni. He said that didn't work because that wasn't you. You listened to other people that weren't as smart as you, and you just were being a good little soldier and doing what you're told. You never piped up, and you let somebody with an inferior mind, creatively and otherwise, determine your destiny. I'm like, well, it's easier said than done, but I'm a big boy. I make my bed and sleep in it, so there's that. But yeah, Jake would always just say, be yourself. So good, bad, or indifferent, however you land, it's organic and truthful.
There's, Sin, this exists. In fact, we covered this yesterday with Rene Dupree when we went live. Even in the indies, I've seen certain companies just throw a character or a gimmick at a guy that has nothing to do with him. They didn't take the time to figure him out or anything else. They just put him into a mask or whatever it is and say, go out there and do this character. Now, what do you think about something like that? I got my opinions. Now, if you had you as a trainer, would you ever just give someone a gimmick, or would you try and force them to come up with it?
A little from column A, a little from column B, but you have to be clever about it, and you have to think of something that's going to saddle onto them well.
Yeah.
Like if I looked at you and said, "Hey, let's make you some old caveman or whatever." Well, you're clean cut, you're pretty, all that kind of stuff. I don't know that I'd buy you as a caveman. Maybe a caveman from San Francisco, but not a caveman from a million years ago thought out of a brick of ice. Like I would want some guy with a big belly and back hair and big neck beard and all that stuff to be a caveman. So if I'm thinking I got a caveman gimmick on the mind, I don't know that you would be my first pick. But if I want to have some kind of American Psycho or some kind of lawyer character or some kind of stripper character or something like that, then maybe you would be that guy. Maybe if you sucked at dancing, you're a good looking dude, but maybe saddling you in some kind of stripper character, like the model, Rick Martel or something like that. Like if you can dance, maybe it'd be funny that you dance or something. I don't know, but you just have to find something that would saddle onto the person that they could pull off.
Right.
I was just telling somebody the other day, like Hollywood and wrestling are exactly the opposite. Mm-hmm. So Hollywood, they write, some cool character like Darth Vader. And then they look around and they cast an actor that will pull off Darth Vader. In wrestling, you get this guy, this athlete, this wrestler, whatever his real name is or her real name. And then you look and go, what do they have to offer? What are they? What are they like? And then you try to think of a character that saddles onto them. It's exactly the opposite.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you.
But if you're just like, oh, I want somebody to be a cowboy. Hey, Amir, I need you to be a cowboy. Like, maybe not. But, I see people pick all these ridiculous things. And if I had a nickel and for every time I went to an indie show and there was some guy in paint and they were either a devil or a clown or a Martian or, something like that, there's some a-hole that went to the mall and got their face painted.
Yeah.
Some guy that never saw the inside of a gym, maybe don't even know a guy named Jim, but they put their face paint on so they're a demon or a devil or a Martian or whatever the heck they are.
But Sinn, what happens is when these guys do take on personas like that, I've often found all they're doing is the exterior. They're dressing up, but they have no concept of the character. They don't talk from that place of the character.
Right.
They don't know the backstory or the why, the where, what, none of that. They're just the paint job, and that's it. That's all they are.
Yeah, you need meat and potatoes. You need substance. You need to look way past the paint job or the haircut or the sparkly undies or the overalls or whatever the heck you're wearing. Whatever you're visually trying to look like. Yeah. Like you gotta kind of think about a backstory and a mythos and an ideology and mannerisms and like for instance, again. I kind of would joke and say there's no such thing as wrestling psychology, only psychology applied to wrestling. So if you were going to be a lawyer character, like a wrestling lawyer, let's say like maybe like something similar to like an IRS or something like that, who's not a lawyer, but you get the idea. So if this person is going to pretend to be a Harvard lawyer, then that person probably shouldn't say things like y'all or them guys,
right.
or use guys and so forth. Everything.
Or even, may I interject here, or even walk in through the curtain, like we said yesterday, but they should
when I get off this podcast, I'll help you. Guys, relax. So I can't miss the. So I have other little dogs in the living room here, and then my one cat spilt something or whatever on her. So my wife is giving her a bath. So I'm trying to find where I want to go where there's not barking dogs. It's kind of difficult in here. I could go outside, but then there'll be turkeys and chickens clucking and cows mooing and goats walking. And
it is. It's just a nonstop action. No, Sinn, I was saying
wonderful. It just maybe not good for the podcast, which I'm fine with. I don't mind. I just sort of like to preface anytime I do a podcast like, hey, there's going to be a run-in from a turkey or a chicken or a duck or a dog or a cow or something or a goat or something.
Sinn, what I was saying was when you talked about character, it was beautiful there because we said yesterday, how many times do I see a guy walk through the curtains, like you said, he's not, they all huff and puff. They all do that. And then they shake and there's this other crap where they pace from side to side when they're doing a promo. Like
then they get into the ring and then their feet on the second rope and they lift their hands up like Randy Orton or The Rock. Look at me, I'm here. Look at me.
Yes.
They're just a big, giant, goofy peacock with their feathers out, expecting to be praised. I'm like, well, what'd you do to get praised in the first place? Well, you're asking for praise before you've done the task at hand.
Yeah.
Come out, focus on your opponent. If this was real, you can look around, like quickly register the audience, but eye on the prize, like, to Suave's point about Sheena, like she's locked and loaded, or like watch Jake the Snake, like he's babyface or heel. He's walking to the ring, eyes locked on the ring.
Yeah.
And when his opponent's there, whether he's there first or he's there second, Jake's eyes are always on the opponent.
Yeah. Same with all of them, dude. Even like I was thinking of the entrances this morning, like Ted DiBiase, IRS, the Beverly Brothers, everybody, their concentration, and they each had a unique entrance. It's not like I said, you see so many guys now, they do the same thing through the curtain, and then they do a big move as they come through the curtain. They, like you said, they raise their fist, they do a turn, something. You're supposed to be
they're playing wrestler, they're playing creator wrestler, they're monkey see monkey do. They're just looking what they see on TV and they're taking it out of context. Like, this is what wrestlers do. Wrestlers, no matter how badly they've been beaten up in the heat, when it's their time to do a dive, which is a necessity, then no matter how far they have one foot in the grave at the hands of the heel in that heat, they have the energy to put both fists in the air and bounce up and down to Iggy the crowd into letting them know, I'm going to do a dive. And then they run back and forth and hit the ropes 1,000 times before they jump over the ropes, which just simply tells the audience they're okay. Yes. And if they're okay, they don't warrant any empathy or sympathy from the audience, and they don't get over. And they've just exposed that the villain hasn't done anything bad to them, so there's no reason to be mad at the bad guy. So it's just the double shits. Exactly. So, but easily fixed with just correct devil in the details.
Yeah.
Like, I was just talking about this in class last night. Like, if you're my baby face and I've been beating the crap out of you and you're just trying to pull yourself up by the ropes, like kind of middle of the ropes, like the only way you have a hope in hell of standing is because you're just pulling yourself up like that half robot Terminator, just crawling, not giving up, right?
Yeah.
Here I come, I'm maybe hot dogging a little bit, a little too much Shakespeare, having a good time. And I come barreling at you like I'm going to close on you over the ropes. And then you pull the rope and you low bridge me and out I go.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm selling on the outside, you're trying to get the cobwebs clean and shake it all off and whatever. Now, if you hop to the middle of the ring and bounce up and down and run the ropes and then dive on me, it's the fucking dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
It just exposes everything we've worked so hard to get to. But if you, while holding onto that rope that you've low bridged me on, and you look down and you're just scrambling your feet and you're slipping in the mud, and then you just use those ropes to vault over on top of me.
Yeah.
You're in position to do something that's right in front of you. Mm-hmm. And I, on the outside, I'm not sitting there with my loving arms waiting, seeing you a mile away. I fucking hate that. It looks ridiculous, like asinine. And again, like you said, so-and-so, he's a stick. He's built like a stick, So whether anybody wants to ever stooge you off or heel on you or give you grief about it or backstab you, whatever, I've got no problems with saying Sinn Bodhi, this guy who may or may not know what he's talking about, this guy who has, some inkling or not about pro wrestling, thinks anybody that throws away all that empathy in the heat just so they could run laps before they do a bouncy and run laps before they do a dive, I think it's a fucking moron. And if they don't like it, well, I teach at the one class every Tuesday. I'll be on all these different indie shows, whatever. I'll be here, there, wherever. I'll be at Power Slap. I'll be at WWE. I'll be all over the damn place. Find me and fucking tell me to my face.
Yeah.
Idiots.
Yeah. Idiots. Yeah. I like that. I like that truth. Right? That's what we're all about right here on the Master. That's why it's called the Masters of Wrestling Masterclass. But Aisha Suave, you want to jump in here? You've been quiet for a little bit.
I was going to say.
He's been giggling at my ranting. So.
Well, he's dead on. He's dead on. And my question was going to, but you already answered it. I was going to say, do you do seminars? Because you are.
I do seminars. Emphasis on the do. Yeah, and I talk about this stuff all the time. And some guys and girls get it, and some guys and girls don't. And some guys and girls that do not want to get it. They just want to do their cool move, show out to their friends, and be like, "Look what I can do." And
is
then
is that when you pull a Rip Rogers and blow the whistle and say, "Get the fuck out of the ring"?
No, I would just say, well, you can Sunday drive your career all you want, and putt around and whatever. But is it going to get you anywhere? Maybe, maybe not. So certainly, I tell everybody that takes my seminars or asks about, getting a spot at WWE or getting a spot at Power Slap or a spot on some indie show or whatever, I tell them like, hey, when asked by a promoter, if somebody at high up at WWE says, what do you think of this guy or girl or whatever? If I lie and the person shows up and can't do what I say they can do, then what good? My street cred is out the window. They're never going to ask me again. They're not going to be mad at the person. They're going to get mad at me. So as much as let's say Amir, as much as I like Amir, I think he's a good dude. If I said, if Triple H called me and said, what do you think of Amir? You're thinking about bringing him in for a tryout. What do you think of that guy? I said, oh man, he's 7 feet tall. He can do 3 backflips, from a standstill. He can do this. He can do that. He can breathe fire, all this stuff. And he goes, okay, cool. And then Amir gets there. Now Amir, again, he's impressive and he's a good looking guy. He can work, he's seen the inside of a gym a time or 10, whatever. But he's not 8 feet tall. He can't do 3 fucking flips before he lands on his feet. And he can't breathe fire, to my knowledge. So Triple H would be like, you told me a bunch of bullshit that he can't do. Why would I trust you when I ask about the next? I'm never going to ask about the next person again and again. Exactly. So, when coaches or producers ask me, and they do, I tell the truth. And so that's on you. Yeah. That's on the worker. So like if I say, oh, so-and-so is really nice, they're just green. I think with a lot more reps, they'll really be something. There's something there. But they still make, green mistakes or this, or yeah, so-and-so can do this really cool move, but he's a pain in the ass in the locker room, or, she has a big head, or he has a fragile ego, or they get hot and bothered and throw a temper tantrum like a little kid if they don't get their way, or they just don't get it. They're athletic as heck, but they just don't get it. They don't get selling doesn't make you look dumb. Selling will get you over. Yeah. I can't sell. The only thing I sell is t-shirts, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. So
did you see the John Cena match?
I did.
Okay. Listen, what happened happened.
Here we go, bodacious one. Here we go.
Educate people. I mean, what happened, but I want to hear your professor's side.
I think what happened was most likely engineered mostly in part by John Cena trying to do something nice for a younger guy. And Triple H was
talking about
to have that happen.
I'm talking about the smirking and the little love tap.
I think the smirk was probably something they even talked about. He could have easily just felt to do that, but it also, they're so detail oriented, Triple H and John Cena, they do have great minds for the business. They're awesome, so a little detail like that may or may not be organic and just felt and done. And it also could have been planned. Look at John Cena's really great facial expressions when he hugged Cody and then he hoofed him into Ding Ding. That face change. He looked like a different human. That was a really great bit of use your acting, Gary. That was a really good bit. So I think, again, whether he felt it organically in the spur of the moment, or him and Triple H had discussed it, saying maybe I should kind of give a smirk, I'm okay with giving up. I'm giving back to my industry, and I'm going to make that little smile so the smartest of smart marks get that I'm giving back.
See, I didn't think of that. I didn't even think of that.
Right. Well,
I thought it was him saying "F you" to make me lose like this.
No, but I think they, again, whether it was organic and just happened, or whether him and Triple H got together and all of their cleverness and planned for that to happen, right down to the little smirk, the little subtle smirk. He didn't overly smirk. It was a subtle thing, and you really have to look at it, But again, for all those smart marks, and I use that term so sarcastically, because there's no such thing. They're like elves; they just don't exist.
But then, last point.
But I will leave you with this. I will say, I don't know if many people have thought about this, but if you lay down for 1, 2, 3, or if you tap, yes, it's a great gesture to, hand the baton to the next guy, hand the torch to the next person. But as a guy that, again, not Chuck Norris, but I've been around enough real stuff to appreciate the art of working, and to think, shoot, but work. And I think a sleeper on if this was any other day in John Cena's career, he'd be like, fuck no, I'm not tapping to a sleeper. Like, you could put me to sleep and, he could lose because he fought the good fight until, the oxygen was robbed from his brain and his body betrayed him. But it wasn't his conscious or his fighting spirit or anything like that. So I think if he was in a camel clutch, if he was in a STF, if he was in any kind of submission hold that was, generating pain or was going to snap something off and it was lighting his nerves on fire, then to do the sheepish, smiley tap out to give back to Gunther being this amazing Darth Vader-esque villain. Okay. But a sleeper, that's not really something that you're going to really tap. You're going to fight to get out of it until you can't.
Yeah.
And I just think like maybe a far lesser dude might get panicked and tap out like, oh my God, I'm getting choked. I better tap out and hope for leniency. I just don't see that as being a John Cena thing,
You know what I'm going to do? My mind is going. My mind is on my money right now. Sinn, I need to get you and Jason Sensation together. We need to do a cartoon series, almost like South Park, where you do the voices and Jason Sensation does the voice. And we do a whole little thing here.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be freaking awesome. I love your impressions. I love the voices that you do to accompany these stories.
I mean, I guess I wasn't imitating John Cena or Gunther. I was just imitating the cartoon voice that is sort of painting the picture of like, if I'm trying to treat this as a hypothetic, I guess, but like there's my nerd impersonation, my bully impersonation, my hero impersonation, and you could saddle that on top of whoever suits the bill. And in this case, John Cena and Gunther. But I think if you step back and zoom out, again, just looking at it as a wrestling fan, looking at it as think, shoot, but work, looking at it as a booker, looking at it from every angle possible, from all the fan angle, the worker angle, the Hollywood angle, the passing of the torch angle. I think if John Cena did that same exact kind of tiny little smile and a tap on like a brutal submission, I would have digested that much better.
Yeah.
Then I just think the sleeper, and again, fans maybe if I said that to John Cena, he'd say, "Hey, clown, go fuck yourself. I know what I'm doing. I'm John Cena. I'm a millionaire. You're not." He might have said that, or he might go, "Holy crap, you're right. I should have tapped from one of Gunther's really painful things." But in a shoot aspect, and I don't know that John Cena can or can't shoot. I don't know.
You know what I think it is? Sorry to jump in. I'll just again load up your super chats, your super thanks. If you want to ask a question, jump right in. We're here for another hour as we wait for Jason Sensation. But what I think it is Sinn. It's almost sarcastic the way he tapped out. You know what it is? Because many people said he buried talent over the years, and they were fed up with him coming back and burying over stars. So now he was kind of saying, "Okay, I'm going to put this one over." It was almost like an inside wink, I think, to the back. That's how I perceive it.
Maybe, but I don't think to the degree or to the vindictiveness. I thought he was just being clever and wanting to let people know he was giving back. I think he was letting people know I'm okay with not tapping, but submitting to my industry. I think he meant it well. I just think like if it was anything other than a sleeper hold, I would have been like, yeah, sure, cool. Thanks for giving back, dude. That's great. You're a multimillionaire. You've headlined a million shows. You're definitely the face of an industry, you're definitely a Mount Rushmore guy. Whether he's my cup of tea or not, I appreciate that he's a Mount Rushmore guy and a guy that has got tired shoulders from carrying a company proudly, whether he's my cup of tea in the ring or mechanically. Again, I was talking in class and I was saying, I try to look at things from the dual Pritchard perspective. Yeah. I can look at things from the Bruce Pritchard perspective, and I can look at things from the Tom Pritchard perspective. I can look at things as a good, awesome, detail-oriented worker like Dr. Tom, in ring, or I can look at it as a savvy producer like Brother Love. So there's two very different ways to think about things, and sometimes those things can have the same aim or the same trajectory, but they might want to get to it two different ways.
Yeah, that's very good analysis. I like that.
I know.
Am I overthinking?
Again, I'm aware.
Yeah.
Am I overthinking with his character? Never give up, but then they made him give up.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I think by saying never give up, and then he gave up, I think it was either
tongue in cheek.
And again, I can only, everything that comes out of my face is just a supposition, and there's no fact. This is art, just subjective art. I don't know if it's art, but I know what I like. I wasn't overly a fan of that finish, but I'm a fan of all the successes John Cena has had. I'm not necessarily a fan of John's work rate. I'm a fan of John as a product because he's generated a shit ton of money, fame, goodwill to, a countless amount of Make-A-Wish kids. Like, he's in movies. He's on his way to being the next Hulk Hogan in the sense that he is going to staple himself, not just in on wrestling's Mount Rushmore, but he's going to be part of Americana. Americana is, is apple pie and baseball, Hulk Hogan, Elvis Presley, the Star Spangled Banner. Like, Hulk Hogan, wrestling be damned, is within, whether you love him or hate him, whether you've ever watched a match for him or you think he's an asshole, whatever it is that you think, without Hulk Hogan, none of this podcast isn't here. These wrestlers aren't here. None of this sports entertainment business is here in any shape or form the way we know it today.
No, amen to that. Like I said, I got very pissed off, Sin. I know everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I did see some derogatory comments right after Hogan passed. I was, you were with us at the time, and it really did piss me off because people that haven't even made it yet, making comments about Hulk Hogan.
Well, that just speaks to their ignorance in life, let alone in wrestling. But I bring up Hulk Hogan in the sense that I think John Cena, over the course of his life already lived, life living, and life will lived, I think will be the closest thing you're going to get to another wrestler that has broken through the ceiling of wrestling to staple himself into the fabric of America. Like, he will be another, John Cena, Evel Knievel, Elvis Presley, Hogan, all this kind of stuff, apple pie, baseball, football, Super Bowl, all these things are the things of American fabric.
Yeah. No,
so power to him. So maybe I don't like how he runs the ropes, or maybe I can see him calling or whatever. As Dr. Tom, there's things I don't like about him. As Bruce, I love him. He's awesome. He's a golden goose. What's not to like? Why wouldn't you want him on your show?
Yeah. No, I get it. That's a very good breakdown there. One of our fans here, one of our viewers, just said that he thinks Jason Sensation, Bodacious Suave, must have gone off with a cougar from the party that he was at the other night when I was over on the Café de René.
Well, everybody on this podcast obviously can't see Jason Sensation because he is, whether he's putting over some cougar, whatever the heck he's doing right now, I don't know.
He will be here. Like I said, I am gonna, he's fashionably late at this point, but he did tell me. He said to me he was going to be here. But Bodacious One, did you hear back from him just now?
No, I don't know if he's still in there or. Who knows? I know he takes public transit. If
okay, well, you know what?
He takes those filthy tubes on wheels with those other marks. I can't believe he takes one of those mark wagons.
See how
shitty that sounds when you use words like that. See how that goes? Bunch of marks being driven around by some jobber, some jabroni behind the wheel, the mark wagon. Putting over some cougar, jabroni, mark, jobber.
Sin, you're Canadian. What do you think of Bret Hart?
I like Bret Hart.
I knew you were going to bring it up, Bodacious Suave. All right, okay, go. Here we go.
I like Bret Hart. I was actually flattered by Bret Hart. I was. I'll take a compliment from a very good wrestler any day of the week. A couple of years back, I was one of the producers on Ric Flair's Last Match show, I produced a couple of the matches on the main card, and I helped produce the Bunkhouse Battle Royal, and I was also a performer in the Bunkhouse Battle Royal. And so during the course of the night. I saw Bret Hart backstage, and he was like, "Man, I really like you. I never saw you work before. I really enjoyed your work. I really enjoyed you. You really were a believable character, and I really enjoyed it. I like how you moved around the ring. I like how you worked." And he goes, "Hey, would you? I'm doing some shows up in Calgary. Would you like to come up and do some of those?" I said, "I would love to." And yeah, so I'll take that. So thanks to the excellence of execution for enjoying my work rate. I appreciate it. I work very hard on it. So thanks, Brett.
Yeah.
Did you have any, what were your relationships like with the agents when you were in WWE?
So when I was doing dark matches, when I got there, I think a lot of guys, are amazing at their job, but I think there's also people there that are too busy trying to keep their job than do their job. If that makes any sense. And so it was funny. Like I looked at everything. Like I'm a wrestling fan. I looked at everything through rose-colored glasses. Like, that's a dragon. That's a horseman. Oh my gosh, I'm in the same locker room with these guys. It's amazing. But then there's other people that were, they maybe give you bad intel, and you're just thinking everybody's there to help you. You're all part of the same company. This is going to be great. Make money together. Not realizing some people like to stick knives in backs from the shadows. Some people give you bad intel or whatever, and you have to, as a worker, in life, you just have to be smart enough to know you're swimming in shark-infested waters and who's a friend and who isn't. It was funny to me that I was like, this no-name indie guy one moment, and the next thing you know, I'm Kazarni, and the difference in some of the producers, not all, like some were like, "Hey, Mr. Kazarni, hey, buddy, hey, how are you? Hey, Kazarni, hey." I'm like, that person didn't know who the fuck I was yesterday. And now, so I just thought that was amusing. But some of the producers that I did like, I got along great with them. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot from Arn Anderson, Dean Malenko, IRS, Michael Hayes, Ricky Steamboat. Those were some of my producers, and I enjoyed being around them. I learned a lot from them. What's not to like, I think yeah, I mean, anybody that was crappy to me, I'm not going to. I mean, again, like I'm talent relations with Power Slap, so and I communicate with talent relations from WWE and other places. So it doesn't make any sense for me to call out somebody that does or does not still work there and cause a bunch of grief and drama. Like I'll focus on the positive and say the people I just mentioned were awesome. I got I learned a lot from all those people, and then from some of the people that I won't mention, I learned a lot of what not to do or how I do not want to conduct myself. Yeah. But everything was a learning curve. And then it was a massively different experience. Fast forward a few years later when I got to coach a bunch of times at the PC in Orlando, and that was awesome. I love that experience. It was super cool. There wasn't, I have to be hard pressed to think of anybody that was shitty. Like everybody was awesome. Everybody was super cool.
Sin, I got to ask you a question here because, again, I've been texting my Uncle Paul. He hasn't got back to me. But Royal Rumble is taking place in Saudi Arabia this year. Yeah. Now, is there any chance that Sinn Bodhi is going to make an appearance in a Royal Rumble? Are you going to be there?
I think me or any wrestler would jump at the chance to, be in the Rumble, be in Mania, be in anything. They called me up and said, "Hey, when you be in Hell in a Cell, when you be in a TLC ladder match, this, that, King of the Ring, whatever, Shotgun or Velocity," I'd say, sure, I would love to. Yeah. Again, I would think like it's all playing nice under the umbrella of TKO, like WWE, UFC, Power Slap, NXT, Performance Center, PBR, Nitro Circus, if I didn't already say that one. That's all TKO. So I would love to,
I wonder because there's these rumors swirling around that Chris Jericho is going to be returning to WWE, and they're saying never say never. They're saying the Royal Rumble is going to be done. We know that the Saudis love the legends; they love the old school wrestlers. So I'm just thinking maybe we're going to see Sinn Bodhi at the Royal Rumble. I don't know.
I have no problems doing that. I would love it.
That would be cool. That would be really cool, actually. What do you say, Bodacious One?
I'd like to see it. Why not? That's why you tune in to Royal Rumble. There's always surprises, right? So you wait, you count down 10, 9, 8, and you hope for something.
I love it so much that I guarantee you. So, like, if So Chris Jericho is Chris Jericho and whatever company, like that's what he goes by. But like, if Dean Ambrose was to reappear in WWE, he's coming in as John Moxley. I'm sorry, vice versa. Or again, like Nick Nemeth saying, I'm Nick Nemeth now, and he shows up, he's Dolph Ziggler. So I would have to think if they were ever crazy enough to put Sinn Bodhi in the ring, he would probably show up as Kazarni. I would do my best and use my Jedi skills as best I could to find a cooler way to say that. Like, again, I was always joke and say the only guys that ever said that name and made it sound cool were Undertaker and Boogeyman, and they both cheated by only cutting it in half. They'd be like, hey, what up? Like Undertaker, what up, kids? So we just say half the name. So it's like, well, that sounds moderately cooler than Kazarni, And then Boogeyman would always, kids, say it like that.
When you were saying that, I couldn't help but think of Royal Rumble 95. I loved it when Rick the Model Martel came back at Royal Rumble 95. It was such a shocker. He was in the purple pants. That was the best gimmick. So, Sin, who was your favorite return in a Royal Rumble of all time that you can remember?
Edge.
Edge? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, you and he are good friends.
We are.
Yeah.
We are childhood buddies.
Yeah.
But, it was special because he's my friend. He's my brother. Like at his 50th birthday, and one of the other guys was saying, Adam Copeland, he came up as a single child, like an only child and all this kind of stuff. And I just looked at him and I literally like grabbed his hand, like I held his hand and looked at him and go, you're not an only child. Mm-hmm. And I remember having a frog in my throat when I said it. And I could feel it just saying it now. Like, so, I would take a bullet for his children. Yeah. I like kids and animals and women just fine. I don't know how many women or kids I would take a bullet for. I don't know. Mm-hmm. If I was in a mall and some awful psychopath with a gun, I don't know. I guess I'd have to test myself and see. But it's easy to say I would be Captain America if given the chance. Who knows until you're in a chance. Yeah. But he is my family, and I certainly would. I would take a bullet for his two little girls.
He's a true talent. I was just watching the other day the Brood back in the day when they first came out, him and Christian and Gangrel.
They're awesome. And they were only the Brood for a hot minute. They didn't do that for any length of time, and yet it stood the test of time. But so I'm just reiterating how I feel about Adam, because as a brother, mm-hmm. as a friend, I was super happy for him. Mm-hmm. And I mean, how do you sports entertainment write a story like that? Like, he was off for over 10 years, thinking he couldn't do this. And then he was a gift back to the industry because he could show people this is what it's like to work. So we went out there, he felt it, and he looked around, he got that, if you look at his entrance in the Rumble, he comes out and then he just looks like a giant puppy dog with those puppy dog eyes at everybody. And I went, okay, this is awesome. Now time to get to freaking business. And then he hauled ass to the ring, and then he busted his ass and put forth a work rate that we haven't seen in a lot of people, in so long. There's a lot of great athletes, and, the work rate is what it is. Some are okay and some are whatever. And again, I'm not healing on the industry. I love wrestling, and I think all the guys and girls bust their asses. But I think guys and girls are more athletic now than ever, and their high spots are more complex and fancier and more high risk than ever. But I'm an old school work rate guy. I think if you could take some of that old school work rate and smother and cover it on top of, how great these athletes look and some of the fancy spots they do, I think that would be so good.
Yeah, I think there needs to be an emphasis. And, obviously, Sin, we've had our finger on the pulse here. We know what the fans are saying. We see it every day. I see it here. I see it on the Café Donnay. People want to see storytellers. The day of the athlete is becoming a little bit redundant.
Dude, I just got back from a show, just a little show outside of Seattle this week. I wrestled this guy who was good. Like, didn't look like a whole lot. Like, he was just a burly guy, but he could work pretty good. I never worked him before. I tagged with him one time, but we worked at just kind of a spot show, so nobody. I always bank on people not knowing who I am. I'm gonna show them. Yeah. Curtain to curtain, and so. I go, Mr. Promoter, what do you need? I said, who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? Who's over? And he goes, he's the good guy. You're the bad guy. And if you don't mind putting him over. I said, cool. So I looked at the guy. I said, how would you like to do that? And he said, "What do you want to do?" He said he wanted to try to, roll me up out of nowhere, but still, have some fight, which I thought was a clever, thing. Like, so I thought, okay, why don't we get rolling? Get everything where it needs to get. I'll stop you and hook you for my finish. Double leg me and roll over on me into a jackknife, and I'll kick out on 3.1. And when I come up, I'm coming up fists blazing. You put your dukes up, and I'll just kind of slip in the mud. Go, oh! I didn't expect him to get up so quick. I was planning on being a sore loser and clobbering him. But just put your dukes up. Like if I want some more, then he's going to give me some more, and I can, look like a nutcase and slide outside and get pissed off and whatever. And he goes, awesome, that sounds great. I go, cool. See you out there. And that's the last I talked to him.
Yeah.
And we went out there and we had a lot of fun. And I had so many guys come over and go, holy crap, how did you guys do that without planning anything? And I just
feel it.
Yeah, I'm not some genius. I'm not special. I'm just a guy. I just know how to work. Because I came up in an era where everybody knew how to work.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was talking with Bodacious Suave about this. The amount of hours we've watched pro wrestling. We had the greatest university classes of all time, the golden era, the attitude era. We've seen this for years. We've seen it time and time, but you've got to learn how to feel that audience. You got to feel it, right, Sinn? That's the thing. If you plan everything, how can you feel it? You can't feel what the audience.
Love and war. Only two things humans are good at. Make sneakers that fall apart, phones that fall apart, cars that fall apart, buildings that fall apart. Everything humans do is the shit.
Yeah.
These fucking phones they're supposed to do what they're supposed to do. They don't do what they're supposed to do. They suck. Right. Cars, they break down. I mean, it's even in marketing plans to put in planned obsolescence. Yeah. Which for the marks and the jobbers and the jabronis out there, what that means is products are planned to fail. So you have to buy the updated versions and the new versions and the add-ons and the doodly-doos and whatever. As opposed to back in the day, they built a laundry machine that would work. They built a truck that would work. But they realized quickly, well, fuck, if we make the truck work forever, we can't sell more trucks. Yeah. So I'm saying this rant to emphasize the two things humans are good at is the two F's, fighting and making sweet love. Yeah. People can fight. They find reasons to fight in the best of times, and they find ways to make babies in the worst of times. During the Depression, people are starving and out of work. They still made babies. Yeah. People have it so good, and they've got $1,000 sneakers and $1,000 iPhones, and yet they still find reasons to cry and fight each other and kill each other and do shitty things to each other, right? Yeah. So if you don't look at a wrestling match like that, if you don't love or hate, depending on being a good guy or a bad guy, you're just paint by numbers and you're just doing moves. You're just playing tennis. And there's no fucking heat in tennis. Right. Your move, my move, your move, my move. You didn't do anything to me. I'm still fine. I can hit the ropes. I didn't do anything to you. You're fine. You can still hit the ropes. No, it's fucking garbage. It's just a video game. And that's fine if you're playing video games, but I'm not playing a video game. I'm out there to sell a story, to get my baby face over, or to get my heat as a heel and cyclically continue that spiral, or vice versa if I'm the good guy, and we want to be able to keep our bodies safe enough that we can live and fight the next day, but still give the audience their money's worth and make them, want to buy a ticket to the next show. Go, holy shit, stay tuned. Same bat time, same bat channel. I got to see what happens next. Yeah. So that's all work rate. And if you don't know how to show that love and hate, get that empathy and sympathy, and look how everybody was so mad at Gunther. So right. So, they did something right because they wanted people to hate Gunther. That's what they did. Yeah. They hated Triple H along the way. They got mad at John Cena along the way. I don't know. Or maybe they didn't get mad at John Cena, but they certainly got mad at Triple H or whatever. So Triple H doesn't care. He's the boss. He's pulling the strings. He's just getting the heat for his guy, for Gunther. So mission accomplished.
Yeah. Well, it's true. Someone says here, Uncle Paul needs to watch this. I'm sure he will at some point there. Larry right there. If you've got a question, load up your super chat, load up your super thanks, because we're still going to be here for a little bit here. I'm hoping that we're going to get Jason Sensation. Bodacious Suave, where is he? Come on.
He's going to pop in just in time to take it home.
Just in time to take it
He's
home.
sliding in for the finish. He's sliding in for the fuck finish. That's it.
The hot tag.
Yeah.
That's it. Hey, Matthew, who was your favorite Royal Rumble return while we're getting into Royal Rumble season here for the fans?
Oh, man. You know what? I don't. Nothing stands out.
Really?
Yeah.
Nothing. In all the years of the Royal Rumble, that's all you've got for us. Nothing.
Well, you know where I stand with the Hearts, right? So
watch this. So watch this. We're all wrestlers here.
Yes.
We're doing this for a minute, all of us to varying minutes. But you asked Suave a question, and he couldn't. And he's a wrestler, not a fan. I mean, we're all fans. You know what I mean? Like a Mark or a Jabroni or whatever. Jobber. But he couldn't readily pull up any certain specific entry. Okay.
Nothing stands out to me, and for the guys
so
that I
here's my point. Here's why I bring this up. So if you think the wrestler can't think of something, what makes you think the fans can analyze it any better than that? Where the fans are just going to go, I like John Cena, I hate John Cena. I like Dolph Ziggler, I hate Dolph Ziggler. I like Kane, Big Show, I hate Kane or Big Show. You know, that's all they're going to do. So at the end of the day, they're not going to remember what the fucking moves are or what the little nuances are. They're just going to go, I love John Cena, I hate John Cena. They're going to think in instinct, because if wrestling done right, whether it's comedy, hardcore, lucha, new school, old school, whatever, if it's done right, it's going to beget an emotional response. Hence, love or hate. So you're going to go, oh, fuck, I hate The Miz. Oh, man, I love The Miz. You know, that's all they're going to do. So, again, me and that dude from this past weekend wrestling, and for every wrestler that came over, how'd you do that? If I asked him to say, what'd I do? Oh, I just liked what you did, or I hated what you did. They're not going to break it down. No. It's like nobody here is Siskel and fucking Ebert. They're not going to be able to analyze. I love movies. Right. I can't break it down. I just go, liked it, didn't like it.
Yeah.
Was bored by it, was riveted by it.
Yeah.
You know, Rip Rogers will tell you the same thing. He's like, I'm a big basketball mark, but I don't fucking break it down because I don't know a fucking thing about that. I'm not an expert in that. I know how to wrestle. Right. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I like Marvel movies. Can I analyze it? In the sense that, yeah, I bought what Thanos was doing. I didn't buy what Thanos was doing. I bought what Ultron was doing. I didn't buy what Ultron was doing. I bought what the Avengers were doing. I didn't buy what the Avengers were doing.
Essentially, what you're saying there, Sin, because obviously we're all passionate about pro wrestling, and we're passionate about the future. And the future, you know, again, by everything we're reading, everything we're seeing, it is hanging in the balance. It's not all glory days like it was back in the day. Fans are disgruntled with a lot of stuff that's going on right now. But I think to be in the business, you have to have that passion to be able to do what you just said, not come up to you and say, oh, I like that move. No, what was it that you did there? It should be obvious to the other wrestler what you did to get that connection with the crowd.
Sure, but to argue with myself, to counter that point is these young guys and girls, they only know what they know. Like they see wrestlers doing thsee, monkey do. Oh, I want to be like this guy or this girl. I want to do that move or this or that. Like, again, like me and Rip were joking about it the other day. Like when we were younger, we saw stuff. We just did the same thing. We were just watching guys with work rate do stuff that was more work rate heavy, and we're just trying to emulate that. Mm-hmm. And we emulated and we just repped it out with guys that were smarter than us. Whereas nowadays, especially on the indie scene, and again, people could get mad at me or not for this. I don't care.
Yeah,
tell it to me to my face, you know. But like for the most part, like again, when I was coming up, I was in that weird unicorn age where I'm old enough where I came up in a locker room full of guys way older and way smarter than me.
Yeah,
you know, there was way more of them than there was of the young dumb guys like me. So by osmosis, you couldn't help but learn. And you're being led by guys every night. Like just in there with Rock and Roll Express, Road Warriors, Kamala, Bundy, Boogie Woogie Man, you know, and in locker rooms with all these guys. Like you're in the locker. How do you not be in a locker room with Mr. Perfect and not learn something? Like I'm in there with like the very first name guy I ever got to like touch was Bobby Eaton. Like how do you not fucking learn from one half of the Midnight Express? You know. and so forth, so forth. So nowadays, again, these young guys and girls with the best of or not the best of intentions, there's both, but it's like a grade 3 leading to grade 2. Like the more senior person doesn't know a whole fuckload more than the other person.
Yeah.
So it's kind of blind leading the blind. As athletic as they are, as well intentioned as they are, they just don't know a whole lot. So that's when they finally get to a show where there's producers, which are older, not so much older. A lot of the producers at WWE are pretty young these days, like your Hurricanes and Abyss and Bobby Roode and so forth, so they're all in my age bracket. But they're in that unicorn age where they got to work a lot of older, smarter people, and they learn from that stuff. And then they're still youthful enough to pass that down to the younger dude. So it's not like I know better than anybody. I don't. Not at all. I just simply was weaned and came around under the tutelage of a locker room full of people smarter than me.
Yeah.
The young guys and girls, they just don't have that advantage these days. And they're working on the weekends, where I got to work those tail end of those shows where I worked every day of the week. So you have that continuity and those reps of you couldn't just I'll sound like such a dickhead. I'll get to some show what's your comeback, sir? I'm like, I don't know what you're going to do to me. I don't know how the fans are going to react. That's why I'll let you know out there.
Yeah, which makes sense. And we talk about that often as well, Bodacious Suave, you and I. If you go back and watch a match, say Power and Glory versus a team back in the early 90s, it's organic. Now you can watch a match, like you said, they're waiting for spots. They're waiting there with their hands open.
Well, everybody just monkey see, monkey do. So so everybody, when they do their promos, they talk like they just overloaded on their asthma inhaler. They these big, heavy, puffy sound bites. Then they somewhere about the halfway to maybe the 60% mark of their promo, they do a condescending chuckle and let me tell you something, and this is what I'm going to do, and I can't believe this happened, and all this, and let me tell you what I'm also going to do, and this, it's all right, and then they're going to hit a catchphrase, and then maybe another catchphrase, and then they're going to take it home with an extraordinary catchphrase. It's shut the fuck up. Yeah. Dr. Evil talks like that. Nobody else talks like that.
Yeah.
Whether you're an evil clown or an Oxford grad or an astronaut or a caveman, talk you'll hear producers beg for a conversational promo. Well, how do I have a conversational promo when I'm talking to myself and the camera is just, listening to me? I guess it's the sweet art of just being authentic. Look, Amir, I can't believe, you made sweet love to my car. You ate my gerbil. I'm going to fucking beat the shit out of you when I see you next week.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to kick your fucking ass. And if you don't like it, do something about it, motherfucker. Yeah. I'm just random. Don't ask me to repeat what I just said. Right. I'm just going to think of something and just sound organic. Done.
Exactly. I tell you, you're preaching to the choir, Sinn.
I can't believe he made me so mad. I tell you, so mad. I found that to be so laughable. This just sounds just like a giant steamy load of horse shit. It's garbage. It's bad acting.
It does. But the thing is a lot of these, and again, not everyone. Again, I don't want to trigger anybody. We're not triggering anybody here. But a lot of these places now that pop up, these pop-up wrestling schools, I'll call them, Sinn.
Yeah. I don't mind triggering anybody. Toughen up, you fucks, and learn that we're teaching you something for your own fucking good. Eat your vegetables. You'll understand when you're older. Go to your fucking room.
Exactly. Yes.
Done. Don't make me give you something to cry about. Fucking done. Get in the car.
Yeah. In a nutshell. Yeah. They don't even focus on promos. They're not even pushing their guys to do promos. Like you said,
I'm so triggered by somebody giving me useful intel to make me better. I don't want to get better. I just want a Sunday drive and be so cool to my 16 friends or 16 fans that come and see me every show. Go get in your car, travel, get over in front of strangers. Don't get over in front of fans that think they know you personally. Yeah. Go and sell your wares in front of strangers. Listen to critiques. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. So learn. So if somebody's telling you something that makes you uncomfortable, get comfy with getting uncomfortable and learn how to do your shit, because they won't pull any punches when you get to WWE or any other substantial place, because they're going to want good competitors, people that have great attitudes, willing to learn, willing to eat shit and love the taste of it, grind, put in the work. no shortcuts. So if you want a Sunday drive, be my guest. Just see how far that gets you. You know, but otherwise, like go to seminars, go to wrestling schools, go to shows, be humble, help tear down the ring, put up the ring. I don't give a fuck if you're, you know, a 5-year vet, which is such a oxymoron. You know, that's a cart before the horse oxymoron right there. Like 5-year vet. Like I've been doing this for over a quarter of a century. I do not consider myself a vet. I'm just a dude with more reps than some young fuck.
And you know what I want to add to that, Sin? Go back and watch some history. Go back and watch pro wrestling from the 90s. Stop watching what just happened last week and copying that. Go back in time. Find out where you came from. Because if you don't know where it came from, you're not going to know where to go. Or where
That's right.
We got a question here, right here from
you don't know where you're going. You don't know where you've been.
Exactly, Sin. All right. Okay. From Mason, he said, oh, it's just a question. Everyone looks the same and theme music is generic. You got that. You hit that on the head right there.
Yeah.
Think about that, Sin.
Yeah.
Everyone looking the same.
And so everybody is, you know, I don't know, either maybe super ultra, all greased up and fake tan, and they're in their sparkly undies and their kick pads, and you know, and they have that weird haircut that everybody seems to be like all the rage. It kind of looks like a messy Beatles haircut to me. Drives me nuts.
The other one that drives me nuts, Sin, is that stupid fade haircut. You know where they fade it up, they blend it, and then they got to fade into their beard, and then they're all tailored here. They got fake eyebrows. This remind you of someone.
I don't mind that if it suits what they're trying to get across. But if they are a scary biker and they've got the super faded, cropped, beautiful beard, I'm like, I don't know. You look more like a barber, you know. Again, like
fashion model or something.
Any dudes that like trim their eyebrows to the point of looking so perfectly beautiful. If you're a super duper pretty dude and you're trying to be like some kind of fancy, really obnoxious model guy, fine. Yeah. You know, like if you're Robbie E, or if you're, Mr. Pectacular and you have manicured hair and fingernails and all that stuff and sparkly undies, I buy it. Yeah, cool. But if you're some scary biker and you look like that, like, no, you're not. You're just some guy that's just trying to pretend to be something. Like bullshit.
Yeah.
Like just be organic, be authentic. And I'll tell you right now, I don't care who you are. If you have trimmed eyebrows, I'm not scared of you. If you cut your promos in your living room, I'm not scared of you. If you bounce up and down before you do a dive, I'm not scared of you. You know, you're just telling on yourselves. You're just showing how unauthentic you are.
Yeah, exactly. One of our fans just says, Brack, I see him pop up a lot. He goes, you should have a look at, no, what was it? Where the heck did it go? It just disappeared. No, here you go. You should have a look at that. A fan can describe in one sentence or also doesn't describe another wrestler. I guess what he's trying to say is you should be able to look at a wrestler and in one sentence know who that character is.
Sure. Well, marketing is marketing. Again, like I said, like psychology is applied to wrestling. It is not wrestling psychology. Psychology is applied to marketing. That's why we market things. That's why who wrestles in the yellow and red? Hulk Hogan. Right. Who has the Swab, get ready for the quickie answers. So I just stooched off the Hulk Hogan one in red and yellow, right? Who comes to the ring when the glass breaks?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Right. Booyaka.
6'1", I'm Rey Mysterio.
Right. What basketball team has the gold and purple?
Lakers.
Right. What football team has the black and silver?
Raiders, right?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Whose music is dun, 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 dun.
Oh, John Cena.
Yep. Right. So who does the big flex up in the, you can't see me, but who does the big, like the one-armed flex up in the air?
Who is that?
Who does the pose down and fucking
The Rock.
Well, Hulk Hogan, but yeah, well, close enough. You get the idea. You can't even see what I'm doing. Like if you saw me doing it or whatever. Who grabs the ropes and shakes the fucking ropes?
The Warrior.
Right? All that stuff. So everything I just described was a color scheme, a logo. What sneakers have the swish on?
Nike.
Right. So every product, guys, relax. So I'm going to go into the other room because my wife just let my dogs into this room. So I'm going into the other room.
Well, since doing that, we're going to go a little bit longer here. So if you've got any super chats, you want to shout out, if you want to ask a question, we're here for another 20 minutes. So again, Jason Sensation, I don't know where he is. I'm gonna have to pull him in the ring.
Lay the
Matthew.
smackdown on him on the cafe.
Speaking of laying the smackdown, anybody who has
I just want to just close that one point and be done with it. But just saying like how marketing, heavy everything is.
Yeah.
That way, like, again, what Macho Man looks like when he sees somebody twiddle his finger or freak out. Oh yeah. Oh, that's Macho Man. Or the red and yellow is Hulk Hogan, or the purple and gold is Lakers, et cetera, et cetera. So there's so many things that makes you not think of basketball or hockey or wrestlers or whatever. You think of, oh, that's the Lakers. Like if you saw Rey Mysterio on a poster full of a bunch of other luchadors, you go, oh, that's a bunch of luchadors. Oh, but that's Rey Mysterio. So to be unique, to be brand heavy is to be unique.
Much like this, Sinn, right here. You see this beautiful mug that I'm sipping from today, $80 Le Creuset mug. These will be available. The Master's mug right here, just like the Master's glove. Anyway, you were saying, Sinn.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's important to be unique. I'm an individualist.
Exactly, individual.
Where are you going?
Are you fading up there? Are you fading again, Bodacious
Just leave them up there.
Can you hear me, Bodacious Swab? Okay.
My house of chaos. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves while I shuffle little fuzzy creatures around my house.
All right. Okay. But can you hear me now?
Barely.
Okay.
Come on, guys. Let's go. I'm shuffling a bunch of little fuzzy little beasties.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Students, we have been bombarded by some little doggies. Sinn is now in a safe, dark room.
There we go.
Sorry. One of the fans did talk about, now here's somebody that we have expressed no love loss for. And again, I'll take the heat. I don't care, Sinn. Dave Meltzer, right? Okay. A lot of fans are pissed off with Dave for his 5-star rating system. And I quite personally disagree with what he's saying. He seems to be lopsided towards AEW. He's only basing it on performance. He's not basing it on character, connection to the audience. He's not basing it on anything like that whatsoever. And he said some derogatory things about some of the greatest characters of all time. What are your thoughts on Dave Meltzer?
So I don't like or dislike Dave Meltzer. He's just a fan like we are that thinks he knows what he knows, just like we do. We all have opinions. So he's just another dude with an opinion. I don't think he's an asshole. I don't know him. I don't know that if I've ever met him in passing. I don't even recall if I ever met him at a convention. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against him personally, but
no, I don't think what he says is any more valid than anybody else. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody likes wrestling, and they like this and don't like that, and they like this and they don't like that. So he likes what he likes. Yeah. So it's just like if you whatever's in your in your playlist for songs, just to listen to when you're at the gym or whatever. Like, I'm not going to judge you as a good person or a bad person because you like more rap or more country music or more classical music or more acid polka or whatever the fuck you like. Who cares? So he likes what he likes. Who cares? If other people want to listen to them because they can't formulate their own opinions, they need his opinion to be their own opinion. Like that whole hive mind of like, well, this is what we have to think these days. That's in politics, that's in music, that's in movies, that's in wrestling. Yeah. If you like Hulk Hogan, you're an asshole. I hate you. So it's a double.
I know some people like that. Personally, myself, I love to listen to Eau de Joie when I'm in the gym.
Yes. Yeah, I just think like, he's never been in the ring.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, if you haven't been in the ring, you're just taking a shot in the dark.
Right.
You don't know. And you could get it on the money because even a blind squirrel can find a nut in the dark every once in a while. But
True.
What the fuck does he know? He's never been in the ring.
True.
But so no offense to him. If he got in the ring, if he was a wrestler or something, I'd say sure, why not? But otherwise, he's a wrestling fan and entitled to whatever he wants to think.
Yeah. Bodacious Suave, I want to bring you in. You look like you're fading up there. Do you need to hit your Gatorade?
No, life's good. I'm listening. This is all
knowledge.
It's knowledge and the truth.
If he wants to, if people, so I'm not saying that he's out to trick anybody. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if people have tricked themselves into thinking he knows all, end all, be all, well, that's on those, marks and jabronis and jobbers to figure out for themselves. Like, you got to figure out life for yourself. And if you need to be led, there's leaders and there's the leadable,
that's the thing, man. If you cast your mind back to that golden, I always bring back the golden era, Sin, because that's my opinion, greatest time of all. And when you go back, what?
Me too.
Oh, okay, good stuff. Good stuff. I know Bodacious Suave is in for the golden era too. But when you cast your mind back there, we did have individual thoughts. I remember going to school. My favorite was the Ultimate Warrior. My other friends was Roddy Piper, and the other one was the British Bulldog. We were very individually mindset back then. It seems today that hive mind has really amped up. And now you get
hive mind is not just wrestling. Hive mind is all over the place.
Yeah, big time.
And people can't have conflicting opinions. Like, that was just called opinions.
Yeah.
Like, you can think about, what's happening, like, wars overseas, political stuff, video games, music, whatever. You can have your opinions on whatever. If you have a difference in an opinion, it doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you have your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, I am not, I've got no problem, not ashamed to say I'm not what I think politically or whatever, but I have plenty of friends. Like, I'm pretty darn MAGA, to be fair, but at the same time, I have wonderful friends that are super blue. I have people down the middle. I don't care what back in the, like, I saw this awesome interview with Gene Simmons a while ago. The reporter said, how did you vote? Gene Simmons says, none of your fucking business. Like, what happened to like having like voting in private and like your politics are your own politics? But people have made it such a source of argument, and like friendships and family relationships are ended every day on that kind of bullshit.
Ridiculous.
Like, if you don't want to like me because of how I voted, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, I've got lots of friends that I like that I disagree politically. Like, I like Dave Marquez. He's as blue as you get. I love Leroy Patterson, the human tack board. He's on like America's Got Talent, all sorts of stuff. I love him. He's one of the sweetest, most talented guys I know. He's as blue as you can get. I'm pretty sure Dave still likes me. I'm pretty sure Leroy still likes me. I don't make any secret about it. Ox, you be sweet to those kitties. There are those little cats outside. Ox, you be a good boy. You can chase the mailman, not the kitties. Yeah. You can chase a human walking by, not the kitty.
Does it ever get quiet in the original Resident?
No. In the darkness of night, maybe for a minute. But like, I don't think like so. But at the end of the day, so I bring this up because at the end of the day, what I really do side with is I'm a red, white, and blue guy.
Yeah.
So like I think again, like to point out, like Dave Marquez, I think he's a nice guy, a talented guy, an intelligent guy, and he probably wants the same stuff I do. He wants to see people happy and healthy, but as a blue guy or a red guy or whatever, you kind of maybe see the past of those things in a different way. Well, who I am not is like, if you're a blue, you're probably a asshole that I don't want to be friends with. I don't think like I know a lot of people do that on both sides of things. I don't roll like that. I've got lots of wonderful friends. I've got people that are neither. I've got people that aren't even American that I Fox, you be nice to those kitties.
It shouldn't determine anything in a relationship. That's petty. It's the word petty comes to mind when it comes to that.
People they just get this hive mind where like, this is what it is. If you like Trump or Hulk Hogan or Kid Rock or whatever, you're an asshole. If you like Gavin Newsom, you're you like Kamala Harris, whatever. That is just one little thing of people. Like, you're gonna hate me because I like Leonard Skinner. You're gonna hate me because I like Run DMC. Or you're gonna hate me because I like whatever. Like, that's stupid.
Our dear co-star, the Bodacious Suave, he doesn't have to worry about this. He's up there in good old Canada. Matthew, you don't have these issues, do you, up there?
You're not allowed to have those issues because the cop, Carney's cops will come and drag you away if you say anything bad against him, because it's hate speech and words of violence. And since you dumb fucks gave up your guns like assholes, now you can't say anything, so you're fucking stuck. So.
Damn. Yeah, politics is not a big thing here like the States. Like, more than half the people don't even vote.
And I think like Canadians are so much less patriotic. Not all Canadians, so all the snow Mexicans out there listening, don't get your fucking maple syrup in a twist, you know.
Sinn is
But
Canadian.
I am Canadian. I can say what I fucking want. I'm a proud dual citizen. I am legally a dual citizen, and I'm proud as fuck about it. And I get super like annoyed when like I see, you know, Canada and the US arguing with each other, especially like the people on the ground level, these good, awesome, hardworking people go, oh, fucking Americans, oh, fucking Canadians. Like, I want the politicians and everybody in both to get their fucking act together and be cool to each other because they're both awesome places.
Yeah, very true. Two of the best, you know. So, I mean, yeah, I agree with you.
Well, I know too. Like I think like you should be able to speak your mind, and you should just having a difference of opinion, whether it's wrestling or anything. Like I remember my little brother being concerned for me when I came up. I don't know, maybe half of a year ago, 4 or 5 months ago. I did like a triple shot in Vancouver, and he was like, I say what I say, you know, and I can be a bit of a caveman. And I'm fine with that. I got no problems with that. I'm comfortable with myself, cozy in my own skin. And for my protection, my caring, loving, very intelligent little brother, who is super blue, was just like, hey, I've had a bunch of different people say, oh, Sinn better not come up here and speak his common sense and free speech bullshit. You know, you better shut up. I'm like, you tell any, I don't know who any of these people are, any of these jabroni mark jobbers, whoever they are, but I will say what I fucking want. Thank you very fucking much. And if you don't like it, say something to me or shut your fucking yap.
Yeah.
Done. You know, like I preach kindness and common sense. If that makes me a villain, get fucked.
Yeah. I tell you what, you know, students, you're learning from one of the best right here, the original man himself, Sinn Bodhi.
Just be an individualist, be a good person. Like people get so, you know, butthurt and they're so sensitive. Like fucking man up. Like sticks and stones, guys.
Yeah.
You know, like just like again, like all that whole like, are you a dangerous person that chooses to be kind, or are you a weakling that has no choice but to be kind? I find, me personally, I think if you can defend yourself and if you are a formidable human being and you choose to be kind, that is true kindness. You're some little fucking tenderfoot, soft ass weakling. You're not kind. You're just weak. You got no choice. Be kind. Be kind or get your ass whooped. You know, get run over. Yeah. So just shut the fuck up if you have nothing nice to say. You know, just be cool. Like I only want to see people. I do seminars to make people better. I have wrestling matches to make my opponent look better and to tell the best story I can and to entertain hardworking human beings. I don't care if they're black or white, gay or straight, red or blue, Canadian, American, Martian. I don't give a fuck what they are. I'm there to entertain them because they've spent their hard-earned money on it. So I will do the best I can.
You hit the nail on the head. That's a great place to end this broadcast. We're there to entertain, just like this podcast. We're here to entertain you. Yeah. So many people forget about that. So many wrestlers, it's all about them when they go out there. It's not about you, the fans, and that's what's sorely missing. Sinn, I'm going to run through some announcements. So obviously, we did not have Jason today, but don't fret, Sinn, because I'm going to track this guy down.
Please do.
We're going to bring him on. We're going to get him Audacious Suave. You're going to track him down. We're going to drag him on. So he will be back maybe next week. I'll make sure that he has the day fully clear. Who's that, by the way, Sinn? Right there.
This is Ox. He was barking at those kitties, and I told him he can't do it.
Kara, right here.
Kitties are. Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll be back. Students, thank you for joining us here. Again, 8x10s, the Master Amir, are available for order, $25, including shipping and handling in the United States. If you want one, get in contact with me. Use the email address associated with the channel or drop a comment at the end of this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Very important. Make sure you share with your friends and family. Give it a like. And Matthew and I will be back tomorrow live with Rico Constantino and a guest still up in the air to be decided. Have you heard from Paul London? Yeah. Audacious Suave?
No, I didn't. Nothing.
It's hard to get a hold of people, but hey, we're all busy. But yeah,
hey, can I just say, last minute orders? You can message me. Anybody that wants a custom figure of yourself.
Yes.
They make awesome Christmas presents, birthday presents, anniversary presents, foreign objects. If you want to clobber somebody with, I'm not going to tell you. You can do what you want, but I'm not going to. advise that, but they're stiff. But also, and I will say, and I can make anybody you want. You know, if you want me out there, if there's an Amir fan out there somewhere on planet Earth, and you want an Amir action figure, I can make that happen. I can make him. I can make him in his wrestling outfit. I can make him in a thong. I can make him in a ballerina outfit. I can make him however you want. Do it, no problem. And I will also recommend that you buy a signed Amir 8x10 for each of your family members, because big Christmas Eve dinners I know are coming up soon. You know, Christmas dinners, and those 8x10s are going to make awesome placemats.
Oh, you know what, Sin? They would, because I'm right there with them on the table. You know, I'm right there enjoying Christmas with them, and they can gaze into my face, into the future of professional wrestling and the match.
That's right. And they'll have to buy more, because once they get all that stuffing and cranberry juice all over your gorgeous face, then they're going to have to buy fresh ones, because they can't really hang those up after you've been all bukkakied with cranberry sauce and all that kind of stuff. You know,
we'll get them on a subscription, Sin. That's
there. You go.
Subscription, a monthly subscription.
Your fans only.
Yes.
Everybody check out Amir's fans only page. He'll sell you the 8x10.
I don't have one, ladies and gentlemen.
Allegedly.
Red Fox. Okay, we need Paul Roma and Jason Sensation on a supplemental live show. Yes, Paul Roma will be back. He'll be back with me next week, him and Mario Mancini. Sin will be back. Sin, I hope you're going to be a regular back on Masterclass with us now that you're back in the country, because you were out of the country for a while, right? Saudi Arabia. Yeah,
I was in Saudi, and I was in Abu Dhabi. I was in the Emirates. It was awesome. It was a really cool experience. Got to ride a camel. It was awesome. His name was Sean. He was nice to me. I liked him. Me and Sean are cool. Yeah.
Cool. And I want to encourage every one of our viewers out there, go over, follow Sinn Bodhi. If you want to follow him, what is the handle again? It's just at Sinn Bodhi, right? That's it.
My Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram are all Sinn Bodhi, SINNBODHI. Sin with 2 N's, Bodhi like the tree.
That's it. Go over there, follow him, get in contact with him. If you want your action figures made, he showed them at the top of the hour. He showed the Adrian, I forget his name. What was it? Adrian Adonis?
Yeah. Adrian Adonis.
Adrian Adonis character, but he's made so many others. He can make you. He can immortalize you. So get over.
If you want to see some samples, just go to my Facebook and scroll my photos. You'll see a shit ton of them.
Yeah. So we encourage you to do that. Bodacious Suave, any closing statements for us up there?
I think I'd like to get my own custom-made doll.
I can make that happen.
I'm interested.
Yeah. I can make that happen. Just send me a DM and we'll figure it out. I'll give you the brother rate, brother.
Yeah.
Canadian dollars.
I won't give you the mark rate, the jabroni jobber rate. I'll give you the snow Mexican rate for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not true. Whatever brother rate I give you, I'll still charge you in USD.
Of course. It's all good. Can't put a price on
Canadian pesos.
Oh, they're not worth anything over here.
Right.
Yeah. So, and also the Bodacious Suave's 8x10s will be available soon, and his sunglasses, replica glasses of the Bodacious Suave.
Where are you going?
There you go.
Pal?
I'm marketing for you. Okay.
I got nothing here.
Just go with it. All right. Okay. All right. Sin, stay on the air. We want to give everyone again. Sin has his faith. We have our faith. I just want to give all glory to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Yeshua. For us, for none of this would be possible without him. For us, and we want to thank you for sharing a little bit of your time with us. And we'll see you on the next one. God bless.